In Chapter 1131, we're diving deeper into Elbaph as we get more info on the island, its realms, and the infamous Prince Loki. So let's break down this chapter together. In the cover story, Yamato's Golden Harvest Pilgrimage, Yamato is chasing a thief on Komachiyo, with Tama and Speed in hot pursuit. I think this thief is probably Yukimaro from the bridge. Anyway, we're back where the last chapter starts off with Loki and Luffy at the Colossal Tree. Luffy is overjoyed to know that he's finally in Elbaph. He's so excited, in fact, that he keeps talking about how massive the island is and how he's thrilled by the giants. Loki
Lets out a powerful scream that scares the beasts in the area. Loki explains that he is the sun god that has been passed down in Elbaph. There's more confirmation that it's the Surtur fruit, like I said in my previous video, and he tells Luffy not to speak without his permission. Then he asks Luffy what he thinks about him being chained. Pretty witty. Luffy replies with the obvious. Then Loki asks to be freed. But he messes up his name and calls him Rhodey. Luffy corrects Loki for saying his name incorrectly, which is hilarious because Luffy does that all the time to other characters. Then Loki explains that he has been chained for 6 years. He's the most powerful person in Elbaph, but the tree he's tied to is Treasure Tree Atom, which is Warland Kingdom itself. And the chains that imprison his body are made of sea stone prism, so there's no way he can escape. Now, two interesting things to point out here. First is that Shanks became a Yonko 6 years ago, and Loki has been chained for 6 years. Shanks may have helped the warriors of Elbaph defeat and chain Loki, and became a Yonko for that feat. The second thing is that Loki says he's tied to Treasure Tree Atom, which is Warland Kingdom. We know that the Treasure Tree is based off Yggdrasil, so the 9 realms theory of there being realms in the tree has been confirmed. Then Loki offers Luffy a deal, to find the key to Loki's chain in exchange for the destruction of any pirate crew he wanted. Loki explains that the snowy land they're in is called the Underworld, and it is both a prison and an execution ground for giants. Giants who committed crimes are forced down here, and no one dares come near because of the beasts in this forest. Loki says he doesn't know why Luffy is there, but tells him to beware. Each beast is the king of a mountain, and his friends since he was a kid, meaning Loki likely grew up here. And in an insanely beautiful double spread, many massive beasts, similar to the ones on Rusukaina Island where Luffy trained during the time skip, come out of the forest and surround Luffy. There are 5 beasts: a polar bear, a gorilla, a wolf, a snake, and a mammoth. Some humans who seem to be Loki's subordinates come too, wearing gas masks that cover their faces and smelly animal skins to protect themselves from the beasts. Luffy is very calm when he sees the beasts. Luffy gets nostalgic about his training on Rusukaina, while Loki tries to intimidate Luffy with threats. Suddenly, Luffy subdues all beasts in one panel with Conqueror's Haki, shocking Loki and his subordinates. Luffy then jumps on top of the gorilla's hand, and all the beasts look at him in a friendly way, with some hearts too. Loki's subordinates then hope that he won't knock them out, like when Shanks visited. Luffy perks up when he hears Shanks' name, while Loki is astonished by what Luffy just did. Luffy goes on about Shanks until Loki picks up on how Luffy is acting and teases him. He then mocks Shanks and calls him a chicken pirate, but Luffy enters Gear 4 and punches Loki, who narrowly dodges the punch by moving his head. Could Loki have observation haki? Anyway, Loki, his subordinates, and the massive beasts are in shock. Loki then says he was joking but vows to himself to kill Luffy if he ever escapes. Luffy then demands to know why Shanks came to Elbaph and if he's still around, but Loki keeps that info close, saying he won't share it for free. Meanwhile, on a castle bridge, Nami and others see Road running after them, with Gerd and Goldberg following close behind. Zoro wants to cut them down, but Usopp says they may be friends with Dory and Brogy, so they all decide to run to the Elbaph village up above. Elsewhere in the underworld, we see some familiar giants, Hadrudin and Stanson. And in another insane double spread, we see Hadrudin and Stanson striking down a huge moose. Hadrudin comments on how you can't find it in the forests above, and how it has very high-quality meat. Then we get a recap panel on the Dressrosa arc, and Hadrudin's new giant warrior pirates. Then, Hadruden and Stanson carry the moose and leave. Meanwhile, on the giant warrior pirate's ship, Brooke is cutting Robin's hair at her request. Brooke asks how the haircut looks and makes a skull joke. Lilith also makes a science joke, while Bonnie likes it and Frankie gets nostalgic. Oimo remembers her hairstyle from Water 7, and Dory and Broggy talk about it. Robin loves the haircut, and we see that she has her pre-time skip haircut, so Saul will recognize her. I'm already seeing the most Oda-type gag ever when Vivi arrives on Elbaph and sees Robin. A couple of panels later, the ship reaches Elbaph. The scale of the island is revealed as the fog lifts, and it's just colossal. And in the last panel, we're somewhere else inside Elbaph. Someone is shouting very nervously, and a mysterious person says Saul has fallen down. He's not moving. That's all for this chapter. We got more lore on Elbaph and hints of what's to come with Shanks, Loki, and the Giants. Stick around for more updates. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Peace.